Well, guys, we're back to another episode of the Liberal Asshole Show, episode 21. Unfortunately, Harry could not show up again, which sucks too because this is going to be a fun one. As the first topic, we're going to be making fun of Cowering with Crowder when he met Sam Cedar. Oh, that's going to be fun, and that's going to be the first thing we're going to talk about. But also, let's see the other topics again.
Yep, Friendlyjordies stuff. That one I'll mostly go over since I'm the one who knows most about it. Japanese World War II hypocrisy, elections in Peru and Iran, Perez running for the governor of Finn State, Juneteenth, conservative outrage about Juneteenth, and Boris Johnson trying to start World War III again.
All right.
And the latest far-right neocon to try and start World War III.
All right, now, of course, let's get to the funny one that I've been waiting for days to talk about. So, for any of you who don't know, we've talked about numerous times on the show. There's this idiot YouTuber called Steven Crowder. He is a failed comedian and a far-right piece of shit that cries and moans about every single thing he doesn't like. Now, there's this other YouTuber that's been trying to debate... Oh, and Crowder is also one of these debate me bro people where he bugs people to debate him all the damn time when they don't want to. Remember back in 2017 he did this with Kyle all the time on Twitter?
Yep. He did. Yep. And then when Potholer54, by the way, who is, from what I can figure out, Australian right-wing libertarian, challenged Steven Crowder on climate change, Steven Crowder ran away.
Yep, I remember that.
Using the excuse of timing thing.
And but yeah, he regularly bugs people to debate them all the time. But for some reason, when people actually want to debate him, that would destroy him. He doesn't want to. That's why he only wants to debate people on college campuses who are not as skilled at debating as he is. Now, there's this other YouTuber called Sam Cedar, who is a pretty good liberal podcaster, who is a very good debater, and he destroys libertarians all the time, and that's how I got to watch him back in 2012. He wanted to challenge Crowder to a debate numerous times, but he always cowered and backed out of it, like in Politicon 2019, which Sam Cedar has phone video audio about it, remember, that he posted.
Yeah, that.
So... he's been trying to debate Crowder so hard, but being the sniveling little weasel he is, he always finds some way to slick out of it. But now recently, just this last week, however, he went on to do a debate with Ethan Klein from the H3 podcast about the COVID, because for all of you who don't know, Crowder still denies COVID-19 at all costs, downplays using masks and all that, and Klein wanted to destroy him on that. But
so he's going down that one. He hasn't swapped over to the COVID-19 as a Chinese or Anthony Fauci funded bioweapon.
I'm sure if I looked into it more, he probably already did. I'm just giving giving the basic rundown. So he was going to debate Klein, but Klein decided to play a little trick and prank on him and have Cedar come in the middle of their debate instead. And also, we got the video too. And here it is, Ethan Klein's actual video.
Nor am I, let's be honest. So with all that being said, we figured let's get someone who is familiar with the topics, who does spend their time thinking about politics, and who is, unlike me, smart. So we've got a little surprise for Steven Crowder. So let's all enjoy the debate.
I'm really glad to have my next guest on the show, and I've always said this. I always respect people who enter into the arena. And we've had a lot of debates on this show, which is different from like a Change My Mind where we sit down and have conversations. But my old Brazilian jiu-jitsu coach always said, if you come switch, we go switch. You go spicy, we're going to do a little spicy. So we always try and keep it as respectful as possible. And I really do appreciate the guy making the time, because a lot of people has a huge YouTube channel, several YouTube channels, one of the OGs. Mm-hmm. A lot of people watch him. You know him. Some of you like him. Some of you don't. Same can be said for me. Ethan Klein from H3. Ethan, thanks, man, for making the time.
You're very welcome. And I just want to say, I know you called me. You said that I would be a layup.
I think I used something like that.
And I think you're right, because I don't think I'm a very good debater. I think you know that. So I didn't want to make it too easy for you.
Oh, okay.
So I prepared.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So
Dan,
what we were going to talk about is the initial quote that happened. I think he's looking off there. The initial quote that kind of was turned into a little bit of a meme, which wasn't intentional, and was you saying you don't even have to think about it regarding the CDC. And I disagree with that. I think people should think about it. I believe. And we talked about this through playful ribbing and an aggregation of medical authorities and scientific voices to make an informed and rational decision. So where do you think that I'm wrong on that?
Stephen, do you know that the Spartans are like practice man love with children?
And here comes Cedar comes in.
This is what's going to happen. What did I tell you? He was going to do anything he could to avoid. Oh, there he is. Oh no, Sam Cedar! What a fucking nightmare! I had no idea this was going to happen. I thought Ethan was a stand-up guy. This is where we are. Yeah, I told Dave. Remember I told you? I said this is. I guarantee you, he's going to do anything he can to avoid the debate.
Hey Crowder, that's you.
No, he doesn't. He just takes advantage of women with mental health issues. Ethan Klein doesn't stand up and do his own fighting. It's just hilarious. Let's bring on FM.
You would do anything to avoid talking to me. I think the point that you made is
Joe Rogan.
Yeah, Joe Rogan and Dave Rubin and Jordan Peterson and Noam Chomsky and Sam Harris. Everyone's been avoiding.
Not just to get our audience.
By the way, did you hear that, guys? Crowder just admitted so many other right-wing people are trying to avoid talking with Sam Cedar.
Of course, because they're going to be destroyed because they can't debate.
Yep.
By jumping in.
Well, this gets even better.
I don't want to say.
Stephen,
I want to see a debate between Ben Shapiro and Destiny. Because Destiny is one of the only lefties who can talk as fast as Ben Shapiro.
Yep.
It's about issues. Let's talk about those issues.
That's what you're doing here.
Valid points.
You're so clever. I had no idea that you were taking your show off early last time, coming in today with your...
And for all of you who didn't know right there, Crowder admitted that he was watching Sam Cedar last week so he could have gotten out doing the debate the previous week because he made an excuse about... Yeah, he made...
What a bloody ice-cold idiot.
Yeah,
Cedar now frozen at absolute zero.
Yeah, because for all of you didn't know, Klein and Crowder were supposed to do this debate like the previous week, but Sam Cedar was gonna be doing the joke with them, but he was not airing that week, and Crowder, of course, watched Sam Cedar and saw that he wasn't airing, so he thought something like that would happen to him, so he canceled the debate saying, there's something wrong with my wife with being pregnant and all that. So this time Sam decided to do a trick where he would have a taped show of the Majority Report playing at the same time so Crowder would think that they are live at that time, and that's how Cedar got on. Pretty smart.
I mean, it's a funny prank, but it's not nice, but Crowder deserves it.
Well, we'll get to that in a bit.
I wish everything gets in the
Take those off of the velveteen buttons.
Must have been
black
very
eyes,
worried about
aren't
this.
they? Like,
I don't know why.
No one's worried about it. Sam didn't want to do it.
Let's have the
Sam,
debate.
come on. I'll tell you what. I have a general.
This is a great opportunity.
I don't start a debate based with people on a lie. And how about you get
sabotaging?
But you lie all the time, Crowder.
Stephen, show yourself. Don't show your co-host.
Ethan, you should show yourself.
Ethan, how can you respect yourself as a man, brother?
Stephen, you are such a coward. Stop showing your little leprechaun co-host who comes out dressed like your sidekick.
Ethan, why do you have to bring on
Show Stephen.
30th of the viewership?
This is nothing but a funny clusterfuck.
With less viewers to come on to debate him because you can't.
Well, obviously, if I'm a layup and not a debater.
Well, look, you're the one who called. You're the one who got
He's the one that got angry about
Show
it.
Stephen. Don't be such a coward.
All right, hold on. Let me hear what Pigpen has to say here really quick.
Fair enough.
Show
but
Stephen.
Ethan, look, I don't. Hold on a second, Ethan. This is because initially I came on here to talk with Ethan. Ethan, come on, man. Look, the same reason that I haven't ever had a conversation with Sam Cedar is the same reason that Joe Rogan, Sam Harris, Brett Weinstein, Dave Rubin, Ben Shapiro don't own anything. It's based on a lie, Ethan. Just like you.
No, the real reason because you're all afraid that Cedar's going to crush you. That's the real reason.
Considering what Andrew Neil and David Pacman did to Ben Shapiro.
Oh yeah, that was great.
What's the lie?
You claiming my booker reached out to you, Ethan, when you know that's not true. There's no one ducking you, Sam.
I've never afraid.
Sam,
I think you're a smart guy.
I can call out Mike Tyson.
It
doesn't mean that I'm ducking him.
You are so worried about this.
Why do you feel that anyone, Sam? Why do you feel that anyone owes you airtime when you have a 40th of the audience and you've been doing the show?
I don't think anybody.
And there's another thing too. Crowder admits that he only wants to debate people that are bigger as him.
Which isn't actually very many, considering how big his channel has gotten.
And also, here's the thing: why did he want to debate Kyle before? Crowder was bigger than Kyle at that point.
I've got less subscribers than Sam.
And also,
Kyle's got like 970,000. Sam's got 1.04 million.
And then also, if you only want to debate people that are bigger than you on YouTube, then why are you always so up to debate college kids then? I'm sure
who have 0 subscribers.
Or very small YouTube channels whatsoever, or not even a YouTuber at all. Crowder, that seems pretty disingenuous.
The airtime, I think that Ethan has just given it to me. I didn't ask him for it, and so
no, you've been begging for it for a long time with everyone bigger than yourself.
He can't
build an audience, and so what happens is he uploads 15 times more, has less than a 50th of the audience.
Well, that's why you want to
debate Crowder.
Sam, come on.
Your audience cares that I only have 1 million subscribers and you have what, 6 or 7 million subscribers?
Let me answer. Can I answer your question? Can I answer your question? Sure. You want me to answer your question? My audience would say Sam who? Just like Joe Rogan's audience and Ben Shapiro's and Dave Rubin.
Who I am.
Now they all know who you are because you had to shoehorn yourself into another coward show.
Do another show.
Every day that you do
the irony of you calling Klein a coward.
I don't know who those
This is another lie. This is another lie. Let me clarify, Sam. To change my mind, everyone knows on the show, right?
Yes.
We've had
How
professors
did you know
on
I ended my show early last week?
Yeah.
If your audience
because you're an idiot.
How
Your staff doesn't like you.
Because I'm a diehard.
I can't refute that I was watching Sam Cedar last week and I was calling a lie. You're an idiot and no one likes you. How about that?
Fan.
Yes, it's because he's a diehard fan.
If you're
I've
a
never heard of you,
fan,
but I just met you.
Why not?
Congratulations, Sam Cedar's fan.
By the way, Sam Cedar has 1/14th the base of Crowder's if you combine their view counts and subscriber base. Sam Cedar has 1.12 million subscribers and 475 million views, while Steven Crowder has 5.49 million subscribers and has 1.3 billion. I should also mention that Steven Crowder's channel was 4 years older than Sam Cedar's.
You're interrupting, Sam.
Steven.
Right now, I'm trying to talk with you. You're interrupting, Sam.
You bombarded the show.
Okay,
you bombarded my show under a false pretense. You claimed just like you claimed that I ducked the debate with you under a false pretense. Have I ever?
That is what the Politicon people told me.
Oh, is that what they told you? Well, so you're just lazy with your research?
And if big tech is...
You continue with the lie. You need to research and say, did Steven ever accept...
They said you were...
Let me explain to you. Hey, whoa. Sam,
and you literally...
Sam, sweetheart. Sam, fake stand-up comic who we can't find any footage about online.
Projection much, Crowder?
Oh, you're not? Okay, that makes sense, because everything that I've seen is incredibly unfunny and unentertaining.
Well, Hey, Crowder, that's exactly you. The only time you're funny is when you make a fool of yourself. Otherwise, you're not funny.
Irony alert, Steven.
How much have you watched of my stuff, Steven?
Sam,
your audience
can I answer your question?
Appreciate our discussing things.
Samuel, can I answer your question?
Yes.
So you have gone on, you've done the same thing with other comments. Everyone has a bigger audience than you. Because you said, I want to speak with Steven Crowder. You believe that at some point there was some acceptance? When have I ever done a Politicon? Ever? As a matter of fact, in the last decade, I haven't done a single political conference. I hosted CPAC for 4 years and stopped because they suck. They don't pay and they're full of losers. And you've been clamoring for it, and it's a lie.
Told me that you dropped out of doing his show because
this is just hearsay and gossip. I've never met more of a woman.
Career when he wants to keep debating.
I don't know. It's bizarre. All right.
Let's talk about the issue.
So Ethan, do you want to have a conversation, Ethan?
Let's talk
about the vaccine? because
Ethan, do you want to have a
Absolutely, I
conversation?
do.
You're going to hide.
you felt
Absolutely,
so
I
strongly
do.
about
Big tech.
So why are you hiding behind Cedar?
Oh no, me and Sam are aligned. I'm not hiding. He just
Well, you're just a
he knows the
liar.
issue.
So you're a liar.
Because remember we said, hold on a second.
I mean, it sort of feels like
It's
you guys are the ones who are
ridiculous.
hiding.
Really?
Ethan,
Hiding?
being
No, this is
completely
actually...
open about it.
Who snuck in on you?
Who's the guy who
Ethan's
never
being
appears
completely
on
open
stage,
about it.
never does a live show,
But it's a
never
comic.
even sheds it, never even allows a shadow of comedy to be perceived on his program? It's just hiding.
Right.
Everything we do is out in the open. H3.
Steven, you're wearing a
that we
holster.
agreed.
So what?
Hold on a second, yeah? So? I want to normalize responsible gun ownership. Is that your debate? No wonder you had to bring in a hack for you.
Well, no, you're talking
Oh,
about.
does baby need a bottle?
Also, you're
As he takes advantage of mentally ill women for a
Main
show that
sponsor is
just
about
comes
gay
with it.
boy.
Right, okay.
All of it.
All right, Sam, you got it. You got it. I hope you have
No,
a,
come
I
on.
hope
Hey,
you have a
Steven,
wonderful
if-
highlight reel.
Hold on. Let me just make one point.
Hope you enjoy Politicon.
Hold on, let me make one point, Steven.
Take it easy.
Steven,
All right,
don't
thanks,
bail.
guys. I appreciate it.
Don't bail, you coward.
Hey, Sam, one thing before I go.
If it's
Can you
about
take off your
issues,
glasses?
Steven,
Hold
One thing
on.
before I go.
I
Can you
just
take
want
off
to
your
see.
glasses?
We just want to see.
I just want to see if you take them off. If you have the Velveteen Rabbit buttons.
People are thinking that's an anti-Semitic joke he was trying to make too.
But there's no surprises. Every negativist in the book had anti-Semitic to that list.
Yep.
It's the only thing I'm curious about. It's the only interesting part about it.
Steven,
Or there's a soul.
Pro
Take off
debate.
the glasses.
Let's debate, Steven.
hide behind the glasses.
Don't say let's debate. Then you've lost.
Coward.
All right.
Debate the
This is
issues.
sad.
What
This
does
is
it matter
what
who
you
you
should
debate,
up.
coward?
All right, good. You guys are good. Thank you.
Coward.
Won't even take off the
I
glasses.
was right.
All right, yeah,
We-
you can
run
give me the X.
away.
This
You
is-
run away twice. Cold feet again.
Cold
Come on,
feet Crowder.
More like absolute 0 feet.
Wow. Dude, I can't believe he admit to following.
He
He
admitted, yep.
admitted that he followed the show last week.
We got him.
Admitted that he watched the show last
We
week.
got him. Dude, we played him so hard because he literally was following. He saw that you went live, dude. We fucking got him.
Oh my God, we fucking nailed him.
We got him. Nailed him.
Yeah.
Metaphorically, of course.
Oh, Crowder, keep the cope up. Oh, and guess what else? Trump lost. Accept it.
Yep. There was no voter fraud, except by Trumpists. Who
Oh.
thought there were voter fraud.
Oh,
Accept
that
it.
was so
Also
great.
accept that you're trans to some degree, dude.
Yep, that was so funny. Anything you want to say about it?
It was perfectly executed, and Crowder reacted exactly how they hoped he would.
Yep. Now, I actually kind of agree with Hunter Avalon somewhat. He thinks that he didn't like that they did that. He thought that was unfair, and he also pointed out if that was the reverse, like if someone did that to like a liberal, we probably wouldn't find it as funny. Which is true, but in Crowder's case, it also was deserved, as you said earlier. And Crowder, even if you were like ambushed or whatever you want to phrase it, because he has defended down, double down, triple down, everything. Yep, he's not allowing any comments on his recent videos. He had Trump Jr. on recently to get rid of this controversy. It's so pathetic. Crowder, if you just did the debate anyway, even if you lost, you would have been in a much better position than you are now, instead of being cold feet Crowder again. Oh my god. And also, Crowder, not everyone wants to debate you because you're a dumb fuck. I'm also like Klein, too. I don't debate people. I probably would be like him. I'd be probably 100% correct on everything, but still lose because I'm just not a debater. I stutter a lot, as you've noticed a lot when I do laughs and all that, too. Just not my thing. I'd rather do, like, video essays and stuff. Like, everyone has their strengths and weaknesses, and we know your weakness. You can't handle when actual liberals who know what they're talking about destroy you.
Yep.
And of course, we know damn well, sadly, this is not going to really affect him. We're going to laugh at him for several days, and then he'll do something else stupid, or everyone will just forget about it. Ooh, that reminds me, too. Right before his cold feet moment right here, did you know beforehand he actually did a video saying about gay men are predators again?
Oh, yes, that one again.
Oh, boy, I think we're going to have to go look up the Humanist Report for that one. Oh, my God, you are so disgusting, Crowder. What is wrong with
He's
you?
trying to get gay and trans people murdered. I'm going to be honest, like Blair White, I wouldn't want to look in his basement.
That's the wrong video. Here we go.
Pedophiles.
Let's watch him make a homophobic fool of himself again.
Steven Crowder is probably one of, if not the most homophobic people on the right, and while most of his peers on the right has found more toned down and like covert ways of expressing their homophobia, he doesn't resort to dog whistles. Like, he just straight up says the quiet part out loud. And
because these two were stupid.
For someone who is supposedly straight to be that concerned and seemingly obsessed with gay people, I have to assume he's going through a little bit of a struggle internally himself, and everything that he says is like, it's his internalized homophobia getting vocalized in a way that...
When a fellow gay man realizes that to you, you know you just need to come out of the closet, Crowder. Come on.
Yeah.
Don't deny it. Just like we know how much you want to find excuses to wear dresses all the time.
He thinks it's going to make him seem more straight, when in actuality the things that he says here, to me, make him seem really gay, and it makes him seem like a closet homosexual.
Dressed up as a woman.
But regardless of his motivation, what he's doing and what he's saying is deeply, deeply troubling, and he's going to use a stereotype about gay men that has been used to justify discrimination against them for decades. And he's going to say this all with a straight face while wearing a cape. So at this point, this is basically just like brazen hate speech. Nonetheless, take it away, Stephen.
I think women generally, and I mean this, don't fully understand the danger play, particularly from gay men. They are definitely more predatory in nature as far as recruiting than women, because men are more sexually predatory in nature.
Recruiting, huh? Oh, we're going to do gays not choice now again, huh? I mean, gays of choice now again.
And also, we're not doing, who was it? Also, we're doing the... If you're gay, you're trying to recruit kids into
the gay agenda, the homosexual lifestyle,
as opposed to pedophilia.
Oh my God, you are disgusting.
Just catty, and I always have, women always love having gay friends, and I've known that for a long time. And I understand you're comfortable just like being a woman, but they don't often understand the world. We're talking about sexuality that men live in. And so you don't see it nearly as hypersexualized, for example, with lesbian women, to the same degree that you do with gay men. Look, here's the issue with the homosexual community with men. But I need women to understand, because often, well, what's the harm of going to drag queen story? Okay. Any woman within a sexual relationship with a man, okay? Think of all the times that the man wanted to have sex, which was pretty much always, and you said, not right now. Now remove the not right now. That's every gay couple. That's why almost none are monogamous. Statistically, it's true. A very, very small percentage of gay couples are monogamous. Why? Because...
Actually, it's not true, Crowder. And also, there's nothing wrong with being not monogamous, you piece of shit.
Men can have unfettered sex with no emotional connection, and guess what? It feels good. And this is why you have a hypersexualized community. This is why AIDS is exclusive to the gay community in the United States. Despite how Fauci lied about it initially, your chance of getting AIDS right now in this country as a heterosexual, monogamous, non-drug using male is 0%, and it's still statistically zero.
That's not also not true either, you dumb fuck.
Even if you haven't been entirely anonymous,
I think starting a couple of years ago, the majority of HIV cases were actually heterosexual couples now.
Inconvenient fact there, Crowder. Oof. No wonder you don't want to talk about that.
And I want this message to mothers out there, because I think fathers always inherently at least understand what they're overly protective of younger girls, generally speaking, and then they are generally speaking more aware of how they need to be protected with young boys. It's why often women don't understand how young boys are bullied.
Yeah.
Because they're different from how young women are bullied. And so you need to understand the risk, particularly with young boys in your household, as it comes from this community. When I mean this community, I mean men who have kids climb on them, show them their crotchless nylons, and do drag queen story hour. It's not just fun and a little bit peppy or spicy. It's a problem, and you need to be aware of how they're marketing.
It sounds like something you would like to see.
Yeah.
Notice how he kind of told himself.
Look, it's the freedom of the parents to decide if they want to bring their kid to these drag queen read-alongs.
And also, Crowder, not only was that deeply homophobic, that was quite misandrous too. You assuming
Ironically, in a way, yes.
You assuming us men have no control over what we want sexually? That's pretty misandrous. I've been declined for sex all times. I don't try to rape him, which I'm sure you conservatives always like to do. Like Dennis Prager defends marital rape, remember?
Of course.
Fucking dumbass.
Dennis Prager is literally one step away from Rouge V. Because Rouge V did that video how not to... that thing about decriminalizing, about legalizing rape.
I remember that. That was cringe. I'm sure conservatives would love to see that happen again. Because we're disgusting. So what are you going to say about him saying gay men are predators again? I haven't heard that argument in such a long time.
For that moron. It's par for the course for him.
Man, I haven't heard that argument in a long time. Hey, Crowder. I don't know whenever you're going to come out of the closet, but we know it's going to have to be eventually, unless you want to stay being repressed. But guess what? There's nothing wrong with the LGBT community, you idiot. They're not pedophiles, they're not predators, they're just being who they are. So why don't you be who you are and come out of the closet, too?
Yep.
Jesus fucking Christ. What a dumb fucking sack of shit. Well, that was funny making fun of Crowder, so what do you want to talk about next?
I want to go over Friendlyjordies next.
Oh, yeah. So this takes place in your part of the world, so maybe you can explain it to us.
Oh, yes. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Friendlyjordies is a comedian and a political commentator who works to expose corruption and while also having a lot of fun with it. And he also does a bunch of other skits as well. You should check him out sometime, Tim. He's really entertaining.
Post a link when you get the chance.
And he's Australian, New South Wales more specifically. And his major exposés are go after New South Wales Deputy Premier John Barilaro and the Premier Gladys Berejiklian, whose name I can't pronounce, at least the last name. So, and he's had Labour MPs like Bill Shorten, Tanya Plibersek, Christina Keneally, and Kevin Rudd have appeared in videos before and have chats with Geordies. So, one, and it can be quite savage, admittedly, but there's been feuding with Barilaro for a while, back to about like September 2020, actually June is 2020, about the last year's bushfires having pushed a number of, particularly koalas, devastating their populations in New South Wales, also pushing several endangered species to extinction.
But do you think conservatives care?
Of course they don't. They love it.
Yep.
And so, Barilaro decided eventually to sue Friendlyjordies over comments he made in a couple of videos. And he's seeking to have those two videos deleted, general and aggravated damages, and a court order to prevent Geordies from making similar videos in the future. But he did not back down. Of course, Geordies didn't back down and turned it into viral content. He's made 4 videos on it now. And then his producer, Christo Lanka, was then stormed in by counter-terrorism officers. They beat up his family, almost killed his dog, pinned him to the ground, threw him to the ground, arrested him, and dragged him into an unmarked police car.
Yeah, heard that, but anything else after that?
And there was 2 charges of stalking or intimidating cause fear of physical or mental harm. The first one was a university event where the accompanied Geordies did a skit that he did about asking why he's threatening to sue. And the other one was John's other one, and was asking about he'd made a mistake on his papers for announcing that he's suing Geordies. And so I'm using our Media Watch as a bit of a refresher and a summary because he's really good at that. And so they had a fixated persons unit thing, who, by the way, they're the anti-terrorism group after the Link Cafe siege. And so the criminologist said that using it to target Friendlyjordies could set a precedent about what is fixated behaviour and an appropriate use of the FPIU. If the bar is set too low, that'll be a serious risk to free speech and democracy. Now, eventually, recently, his bail conditions, which were absolutely insane, like couldn't comment on the personal appearance or behaviour of Barilaro, as example. And so, but that happened then recently. So, yeah, well, that's what happened there.
Has he facing any sort of charges for doing what he did?
Yeah, stalking and intimidation have been the charges that he was attacked on.
What, the politician?
Nope.
Come on! It should be the reverse! This is so much BS! This is
I know, right? That's why I wanted to talk about it.
how's the rest of the country think about it?
A lot of the, considering that a lot of the press are bought by Rupert Murdoch, they're
making it
either neutral or cautiously positive about it. If some are like, there were better ways you could have done it.
This is just straight up unacceptable. He needs to be freaking impeached.
Oh yeah.
Needs to be freaking impeached or something for this. You can't fucking arrest people because they make fun of you for being an idiot. Not their fault that you're such a piece of shit. Maybe stop being a piece of shit, and maybe people wouldn't be making fun of you. The only thing you're gonna do is the Barbara Streisand effect and make yourself even more of a target to be made fun of.
Yep. And of course Friendlyjordies got more subs and views out of it. So it backfired. And now he's crowdfunding for a lawyer to defend his employee, which, considering that the papers for suing Friendlyjordies has at least one mistake on it, it's already got a problem.
So hopefully they can get out of it. Is there being
I hope so too.
So
this is a major threat to free speech.
But the right don't care, remember? They hate free speech.
Nope. Nope.
They only like free speech when
they're basically fascists at this point.
They only like free speech when they can say whatever they want and get away with it. But anyone else that's a lefty, they have a meltdown over that. And then they cry about cancel culture all the time when they're saying something stupid.
Yeah, they're the ones doing the canceling.
Yep. So is it going to court or anything?
Yeah, it will be. I think it's next month. I don't know exactly when the Geordies defamation suit is coming. That's probably a bit further down the line.
So this guy's faced no sort of political pressure step down or anything.
Because his boss Gladys is the one who defends him, and his party's in power. And considering that Gladys is the only one considering that 2 weeks after the start of the arrival of the Delta variant, only now is Gladys actually locking down quite a big part of New South Wales. Yeah. And after getting 30 cases of COVID in one day, which is a lot for Australia considering how well we've done.
So do you think they're going to face any sort of political backlash for doing this?
Nope.
The only thing I guess you can hope for is to vote them out whenever you can down wherever they're at. Because this is just straight up unacceptable.
I hope so.
I guess the right down there is just as dumb as the right up here.
Yep.
Come on, guys. We're supposed to be the stupid, civilized country in the world. Not everywhere else. You're all supposed to be smarter than all of us.
Yeah.
I guess you've become. Yeah. I guess the Anglo-Saxon world has become too Americanized in terms of stupidity. It seems.
Yep. Well, it seems like to some degree.
It's unfortunate. So, hopefully they'll face some. Hopefully he'll get impeached or whatever, and hopefully the guy will get out of it scot-free. Because that's bullshit. Come on.
Yep. Absolute bullshit.
Maybe whenever the court case over, maybe we could talk about it again.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll...
I can give you updates on that.
Yep. All right. So what topic you want to talk about next?
Japanese World War II hypocrisy.
Oh, yeah. So, of course, this one's always been bugging me, especially since I'm a weeb, and, of course, I consume Japanese culture all the time. Haven't you noticed that Germany and Japan in World War II have had very different reactions and backlashes to them after World War II? Haven't you noticed that?
Oh, yeah. Yep. I mean, they were literally... I mean, I'm not even kidding you. At one point, for the crimes that the Nazi regime did, the Western powers of the Soviet Union were actually planning to ethnically cleanse Germany.
Yeah, that was the Morgenthau plan, when they were going to do a de-industrialize all of Germany to the point where millions and millions would starve. But yep. what I'm talking about is...
They'd get rid of, cut the population down to 20 million, send them around the world, and then slowly over the next 20, 30 years, exterminate the remaining 20 million, and then annex the rest of Germany into other countries.
Yeah, that's pretty cringe. But what I'm talking about specifically is, like when, like one, you do know it seems not only does Japan downplay it, deny it, but also the West pretty much denies or ignores or downplays Japan's atrocities during World War II. Like, no one ever talks about it. It's mostly just the Holocaust. Yeah. Even though Japan did just as much bad shit as the Nazis did in World War II.
Worse. They were much worse. In fact, there's literally only one group that could be compared to what the Japanese Empire did in World War II. Islamic State and other Islamic terrorist organizations. Like, they are on par with them.
Like, do we need to remind you all about the rape of Nanking? Where they would literally have contests, like, behead as many Chinese people as possible, like, within a day and stuff like that. They killed, like, 300,000 people, like, in a few days or something crazy like that.
Yep.
Do I need to remind you about the, Doolittle raid? After that, Japan went and killed, like, 250,000 people in China after that? Yep. Do I need to remind you all about what they did to Allied prisoners?
Yep.
Oh my god, all the oppression they did with Chinese, Koreans, Southeast Asia, India, and all that.
Yeah.
But some reason they never seem to talk about it. It's always about anime and all the video games and cars they now make. It's nothing bad about that.
Yep.
But here's another thing too.
I think part of it might be because we kind of nuked them twice.
Yeah, and both Germany and Japan went through like two dramatically different things happened to them during the occupation. Like when Germany, the Allies completely occupied Germany. Hitler killed himself. Almost all the Nazis were either killed themselves or purged. Like the whole government was denazified. And then we spent the next decades like brutally like oppressing and also traumatizing Germans to blame them entirely for, like, the Holocaust, to the point now where they go out of their way to, like, defend, like, Israel, for God's sake, if you just noticed recently, which, by the way, we need to talk about Israel again very soon. Unfortunately, with Netanyahu gone, nothing changed. But they go out of their way to oppress, like, even German, like, culture and society. They even have, like, laws that you can't deny the Holocaust, which is anti-freedom of speech.
Why do you think pretty much all of the Germans in Australia went to now live in the Adelaide Hills? Because they were forced out of the suburbs.
Hey, just like in America, too. Although not to the same extent as Japan was.
Australia.
But yeah, they pretty much have been pacified. They've pretty much, I think, apologized enough for the Holocaust to the point where I think they need to be let go a little bit of, like, the browbeaten for what they did. Like, not all of German society is responsible for World War II. Just the Nazis, for God's sake. Like, they're getting, like, really ridiculous in that regard.
Oh, and at absolute most, you could say that all the soldiers by proxy are. But, like, they're pretty much all dead as well.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Japan, on the other hand, they weren't invaded. We occupied them. But we had to rebuild them all, and we kept them as a bulwark against the Soviet Union, like Germany did. We let them keep Hirohito, remember, even though he is responsible for the war crimes too. But they let him go because we needed Japan to be a bulwark against the Soviet Union, and if we get rid of him, it'll be like a giant civil war because Japan's too much of a hive mind to let him go, and it'll cause a civil war. It'll cost millions of Allied lives to contain it, and other stupid bullshit like that. Only some of the Japanese government was purged and got rid of. Now, they pacified, just like Germany did, to the point where 2/3 are, like, against war, but there's a really weird thing about Japan where the far right have a shit ton of power. The Liberal Democratic Party, and may I remind you, the Liberal Democratic Party, despite their name, are far right pieces of shit like Republicans. They deny...
There's no left... There's nothing even just right-wing. Japan is a far-right, misogynistic...
xenophobic...
Every negativist in the book.
But everyone...
Society. That's Mayumi.
But everyone ignores it because of anime and video games, remember? Mm-hmm. But the far right are in power. They actively deny what they did wrong. Hell, even the far right, even it's like the more extreme far right in Japan want Japan to be an empire again to kill everyone Southeast Asia and East Asia and all them. They actively try to get rid of Article 9 of their constitution, which prevents them from going to war again. and all this stupid crap, which is funny because 2/3 of Japan are pacifists and are against them. So it's like such a weird like political alignment over there. But get to the point. Germany, of course, was fucking browbeaten to death about how they did the Holocaust and all that. But Japan, nope. They were let go to the point where now, unlike Germany, who actively promotes teaching of the Holocaust and what they did, Japan denies they did any atrocities. And that, to me, is fucking hypocrisy. Extreme form of hypocrisy. But of course, America would always defend it, of course, because geopolitics.
Yeah.
And of course, also too, remember, America brought in German scientists for Operation Paperclip after World War II.
Yeah.
To get like technology to help fight the Soviets too. Oh my god, this is just pathetic. Japan deserved the same browbeating too as Germany did, but they never got it. It's pathetic. And the fact that they're getting away with defending their atrocities they're denying right now is pathetic too.
Yeah.
So anything you need to say about that?
Oh, jeez, Japan. Oh, God. Love your anime and that, but holy shit, your culture is... Yeah, also, culture's got a...
They're very weird.
Oh,
they're all over the place.
One of the big things have got a massive... They've got they got the big pedophilia problem that they're not thinking as well.
Yeah, they got a lot of things wrong with them. So, and of course, if I'd always said to myself, like, if I was president, and if I went to Japan, I would tell them, hey, we do like anime, I do like Pokemon, I do like Americans do love a lot of your cultural stuff and games and all that, but you need to straighten your shit up. You need to stop denying your atrocities. You need to finally apologize to China, which, by the way, they never apologized to China for what they did in other places, whereas
to everybody.
Whereas Germany at least did.
Mm.
They needed to fix their shit. They need to stop electing the far-right Liberal Democratic Party and all that crap.
Choice. They've only got far-right parties, unfortunately.
They do have they have some parties. They even have the Communist Party, which is like Social Democrats. They get like 5-10% of the vote. But
okay. There's still hope yet.
But they've ever since Japan became a democracy, other than maybe like 5 years or so, almost the entire elections have been nothing but Liberal Democrats winning. And of course they wondered why goddamn, why are we struggling economically for 30 years even though we keep electing the same party that keeps doing the same policies? And then when we elect, well, at least it used to be the Democrats who were like the more like the Democrats in America. We put them in for like power for like a year or so, and then we get rid of them after that in a landslide because we can't take their policies anymore, even though we're going to keep putting the people in that make the policies worse.
Yeah, I mean, is it any wonder that Japan's collapsing as a society? I wish I was joking.
But, yeah, I think we've talked enough about that, so what do you want to talk about next?
We got elections on now. Peru first up.
Peru. So do you want to talk about this, or do you know enough about it? Because I researched some of it.
I know, not really. I know apparently a social democrat was elected, even though he's like a couple of steps off a Nazi in terms of social views.
So anyways, let me go look up the Wikipedia article. So anyways, Peru, country in South America, they just had an election just right at the beginning of this month, so it's been 20 days. It was between Pedro Castillo and Keiko Fujimori. Fujimori, is the kid of the former dictator of Peru from 20 years ago. And she's ran like this is the third time she's run right now, and she is just a fascist piece of shit. Fucking far right on social issues. She's fucking like laissez-faire free trade economics, which have killed South America, but of course they somehow always keep putting this shit on a pedestal. Meanwhile, her opponent was Pedro Castillo, who was, this is a weird thing to say, not socially, economically, he is a socialist. He is based as hell in all the economic policies, he said, which sounds awesome, but there's one big problem. Just like,
as I said, he's insanely socially conservative. As I said, I mean, it's not an exaggeration to say he's like 2 steps off the Nazis.
Just like Fujimori, he is a far-right piece of shit. Anti-abortion, anti-gay rights, nuclear family no matter what, and all that crap. So all you got is two socially authoritarian pieces of shit, with one being economically based, the other one being a laissez-faire economics bullshit. So, Pedro won. And of course, Fujimori, just like she did in 2016, claimed voting Reagan, all that crap.
Of course, just like with Trump.
Yep.
Just like with Trump.
So yeah, I don't know what to say about this, but I find it funny. This is like something I wanted to point out. Because Vosh and other leftists have been praising Pedro Wynn as like a big step towards leftism, but they completely seem to ignore the fact that he's an authoritarian piece of shit on social issues. And remember, guys, I didn't vote for Biden, but I was told, since I refused to vote for Biden, I support social authoritarianism of like Trump. I'm going to help Trump win. I don't care about the LGBT community and all that, and yada, 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 even though I voted for a green person that supports
if you're not in that argument might hold water if you're in a swing state, like you're in Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Georgia, Arizona, but not in Maryland.
And when I pointed out, they still denied all costs. No, you're going to help Trump win Maryland, even though Biden won by 30 plus points.
Isn't Maryland like one of, if not the bluest states in the nation?
Yes, it is. Up there. It was like top 5 when we checked, remember?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So, I'm a bad person for not wanting to vote for a neoliberal warmongering piece of shit like Biden, even though my vote had no sway in the election whatsoever. Biden still won my state in a landslide. And I voted for Howie Hawkins, who is an actual progressive, who actually cares about social issues like I do. But you guys defend Castillo winning, even though he's an authoritarian piece of shit who is against all of you, like in Vosh's community, who are full of the LGBT community. No, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear this hypocrisy at all. Go fuck yourselves. If you care about social issues, I'm sorry. You can't be happy about Castillo winning either. He's terrible on social issues. If you're in Peru, you would be no different off socially under his control. You'd be no different than with Fujimori winning. And I don't want to hear no stupid excuses. So what do you gotta say about this?
Yeah, it feels a bit weird. Yay economically. Whole shit socially.
And they're acting like this was a huge win for the left. Like, oh my god, it's so disgusting. And here's the thing, guys. Unlike you, I actually care about social issues. That's part of the reason why I didn't want to vote for Biden, because do you see his past, like with the drug war and how it harmed the black community in the country? That's a good reason why not to support him. Just like if I was in Peru, I wouldn't be voting for either of these pieces of shit. You gotta be socially liberal too to get my vote. That's me actually supporting social issues, whereas you guys would blindly vote for Pedro. It's fucking pathetic. Oh my god. That was more of why I want to talk about Peru, about the hypocrisy of that. It's just so disgusting. Yeah. So, we'll see what happens.
Now we move on to the next election, Iran. Oh boy.
I was seeing if he just got elected, Pedro, but I don't see anything about it. Just hopefully in 2026, if he's term limited or not, you can get an actual progressive to run 2026 to replace him, because this is just not acceptable. I'm sorry. And most certainly would not be acceptable for me if I was in Peru, because I wouldn't vote for either one of them. Alright, now, let's get into the Iran elections, which just happened like a week or so ago. And of course, this is what I was fearing ever since Trump got out of the Iran nuclear deal. Iran just had an election recently, and the guy who won, I can't remember his name, he ran in 2017 against Rouhani, and he lost in a landslide, but unfortunately, he won this time around, as I'm looking it up.
Exactly what a lot of people called was going to happen, happened.
I can't pronounce his name off the top of my head, but he won in a landslide. He got 72% of the votes, for God's sake. He won every single county or whatever in Iran, for God's sake.
Not even Ronald Reagan did that. Even though he came within 1% of Minnesota's most populous district of doing that.
He is a hardliner, just like Ahmadinejad, and so Iran, unfortunately, is going to be a far-right piece of shit. Even though it was pretty much under Rouhani, it's going to be even worse under Rassasi, or whatever you're pronounced. Now, the one thing I'm concerned about is before, because Kyle talked about this, the Iran nuclear deal. Rouhani ran on trying to make a deal with the West to try and get the Iran nuclear deal through, and the hard line was like, don't do it. The West is going to turn on us. Don't do it. But Rouhani went and did it. The Iran nuclear deal happened in 2015. And, of course, Trump in 2018 got out of the Iran nuclear deal and sanctioned them, improving the hard...
Not only did he sanction everything going into Iran, he also pressured Iraq, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Pakistan, and Afghanistan into damming their rivers into Iran. Iraq pointed out they don't have the ability to do that right now. Also, part of the only river they have is actually dams roughly in Kurdish territory. Armenia and Azerbaijan told them to fuck off. Armenia did it more politely than Azerbaijan. Pakistan pointed out they don't have a river flowing into Iran. And Afghanistan pointed out that the only river they have that goes into Iran is under the control of the Taliban.
But yeah, the hardliners were proven correct. See, we told you not to make a deal with the West, and they sanction us and are not in the deal whatsoever. Now, of course, Biden won the election, and there was hope that maybe before the election that America just get back right into the deal and maybe prove the hardliners wrong that it was just Trump. But no, Biden, of course, still refuses to get involved in it. They've been doing negotiations on getting into it since like April, instead of, just like that, getting right back into it. They're making it just a giant clusterfuck as always. And, of course, the hardliner candidate won this time around. So...
It means we're going to continue having that nuclear arms race between Iran and Saudi Arabia.
Now, of course, he doesn't take power until August. And there's also concern that he might actually become the successor for the Ayatollah, maybe. Which is the supreme leader of Iran. Now, of course, the one big concern is about the Iran nuclear deal is would Iran do to reverse now and just get out of the deal entirely as America tries to get back into it? From what I've seen, I'm not fully sure, because I actually read an article after he won on RT that he actually might be okay with the Iran deal being in place if it's ratified again. So I don't know what to say about that. You can just only hope that's the case. But yeah, of course.
Hopefully that's the case, though. Doubt it a bit.
We'll have to wait and see. And of course, the election, of course, was really BS because the Ayatollah, of course, for all of you who don't know, the Ayatollah also has control on who gets to run for the election. And they boycotted most of the moderates running, so it's only just far right people pretty much running. That's how he managed to win in a blowout.
Of course that's the case. He wants it as far right as possible.
So
that's what he's going to do.
So hopefully the next 4 years until 2025 election happens, hopefully nothing bad will happen. Hopefully the nuclear deal, America gets back into it, and the hardline will just accept it. I guess we'll have to wait and see, and of course, all the proxy shit. I have absolutely no idea. But of course, there's only one person we have to blame for this. The Fury orangutan himself.
Yeah.
Had he not got out
Thanks, Trump.
Yeah. Had you not got out of the Iran nuclear deal, and of course also killing Soleimani, remember, this wouldn't have fucking happened. As terrible as
he was actually coordinating to fight ISIS in Iraq.
But of course, America doesn't give a shit about. They do contradictory geopolitics, remember?
Of course.
So hopefully.
Or also there were Soleimani was also working to try to stop the Neo-Ottoman Empire expanding any further into Syria.
So we can only hope for the best.
Or was Syria, because it's now in 3 pieces.
All right, so what do you want to talk about next?
All right, your Perez.
Tom Perez.
What was his name again?
Tom Perez.
The early Perez I know is Sergio Perez in Formula One.
You mean Tom Perez, the former DNC
Tom
chair?
Perez, that's right.
Oh, God. Oh, God, why? For all of you who don't know, Tom Perez, he was the head of the DNC under Trump's presidency. He was fucking terrible. He fucking was a neoliberal piece of shit. He claimed to be for diversity, yet he purged out every single progressive transgender person in the DNC, and put in people that supported, neoliberal, such support and diversity.
Probably white, if we're going to play with identity politics very quickly here, probably white men and white women too.
So anyways, unfortunately for me, he just announced recently he's gonna run for my state's governor in 2022. Oh, God.
The worst bit is that he's gonna win. He's gonna win.
I actually don't know about that, since we both had someone like him in 2014 with Anthony Brown, and then Ben Jealous ran against Larry Hogan. They both lost, so...
Okay.
So I have no idea. I've seen some of the people running. The only person right now that's not announced to run for the Democratic governorship for Maryland 2022, Peter Frankshaw, whatever it's pronounced, he's our comptroller. He's good, like, on, like, police brutality, but otherwise anything else I'm not sure of. So maybe he has a chance right now to get my vote, but everyone else, either I don't know about him enough, or people like Tom Perez. Nope! Guess what, Perez? If you somehow get the nomination for our Democratic nominee for governor, hell no, I ain't voting for you. Fuck you. You're a piece of shit that's gonna allow someone like Larry Hogan to win again. God damn. Please, Ben Jealous. Please say you're gonna run in 2022. Please. You are freaking awesome. Fucking, we need a Bernie in Maryland, for God's sake, and Ben Jealous was gonna be that. And may I also remind you all that the Maryland Democratic Party on purpose refused to help Ben Jealous in 2018. Like, a third of them actively supported Larry Hogan, who's a four-tearing piece of shit.
Of course, because the DNC and the RNC are in bed with each other.
But Vosh
As I said, the DNC is one of the biggest enablers of the alt-right.
But Vosh would beg to differ on that, remember?
Because he's an idiot on that.
Yep.
Particular thing. As awesome as Vosh is in most things, on this particular line, he's an idiot.
Careful, he'll probably scream you're idiotist or something, or ableist.
He's not Najee or Gavin, okay?
he's someone up there. But they actively refused to support him. They wouldn't give him money whatsoever. Ben Jealous, that entire election from like the primary in June to the general in November, he only had $600,000 to use, whereas Larry Hogan got fucking $10 million from out of state to support him.
Hell.
The Democratic Party of Maryland refused to support the progressive candidate that actually would have crushed Hogan if they gave him a chance. But no, they rather have a far-right piece of shit Hogan win instead. God. And then, of course, I'm still pissed off that his poll numbers have actually gotten a lot worse, thankfully, like about time. I think it was like not even 50%, but for a long time, mailers had like a 70% approval of Hogan, even though they disagree with every single thing he did.
Yikes.
He even has like a 90% approval of blacks, even though he's against legalizing drugs and everything that is pro-black.
Even though he probably goes around beating black people up.
Yeah. So I just don't get why Marylanders are so stupid. How can you disagree with him on literally every single thing he's done, and the only reason he hasn't gotten worse because our super majority Democratic legislator stops him with his vetoes. Yet you still overwhelmingly like him even though you disagree with him and he's a piece of shit? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? How do you not see this?
Propaganda campaigns.
Yeah, it's another thing too. Like I said, the Democrats in Maryland refused to help Ben Jealous, who would actually help us, for God's sake. Oh my God. And of course, Larry Hogan's thing about running in 2024. No. It's going to be a Trump party. And the funny thing about Hogan is he campaigns about like he's anti-Trump and all that to save the Republican Party, even though behind the scenes he actually supports Trump on every single thing he's done, as all the Republicans do. But,
yep.
But of course, all the stupid idiots in Maryland just don't see it, whereas I see it. So weird.
Yep.
Fuck, my state is full of fucking idiots, apparently. I'm sick and tired of it. Bad enough I gotta be surrounded by Trumpsters. Can the liberals in the state be smart for once and realize that Ben Jealous is the best? Please, Ben, please run in 2024, please! Alright, so now we want to talk about...
So, Juneteenth. What's Juneteenth about?
I don't think it's actually pronounced that, but it's a holiday about the ending of slavery in America.
Oh,
like right after World War II.
Which means it might be June 10th then.
I'm gonna look it up really quickly. Here we go, June 10th.
It's got in it.
Yeah. So here it is. I'm gonna post it. So, anyways, Juneteenth is a holiday that just became a federal holiday in America just this last week. So it's the first national holiday since I think it was MLK Day. And of course,
oh wow, lovely.
And of course, it's called like the Black Independence Day. The holiday is about the emancipation of slaves after the American Civil War. Like when either when the 13th Amendment passed, or when the Emancipation Proclamation happened. I can't remember which one it was. But it's about ending slavery, which is awesome and all that. I didn't know anything about this until conservatives, of course, had a giant meltdown over it. They're making a big deal about a holiday about this. Really, of all things, you're going to make a big deal about a holiday?
It's their culture war bullshit. It's their culture war stuff.
Yep, they're making a big deal about a holiday about freeing the slaves. Like, you think that's a bad thing? Are you... I don't want to
Apparently.
You think it's a bad thing to celebrate the end of slavery? Please don't make me have to use the argument that Vosh has to use that you're all pro-slavery, because I think it's stupid, but please don't give him ammo and me too. Just say there's nothing wrong with it, please. And of course, you had idiots like Charlie Kirk, who actively supported... Kirk actually supported Juneteenth when Trump was in power, but now that it happened under Biden...
Yes. That's because Charlie Kirk's a partisan hack. Yep. Republicans good, Demon Rats bad. Yep. Republicans amazing, Demon Rats literally communist Nazis who are also members of ISIS.
Yep. So come on, guys, there's nothing wrong with this.
What would you expect from that moron?
Yep, I'm not surprised. But they're making, like, a big deal about this. Oh, my God. The right has acted like this is gonna, like, destroy, like, 4th of July, destroy America and all this. Like, Jesus Christ, it's just a holiday. One fucking day.
They say that with everything. It's part of their culture war shit.
For God's sakes, this is pathetic. Get over it, you dumb fucks. And the funny thing is, a lot of states actually recognized Juneteenth well before recently. Some states, like even Texas and Florida and Oklahoma and Minnesota, I'm looking at this map right now, had recognized Juneteenth before 2000 even. So there's...
Wow.
And the majority of the states recognized it between 2000 and 2009. In fact, I got the map right here. I'll post.
I want to see this.
So states in red made Juneteenth a state holiday before 2000, yellows before 2009, and blue before 2021. So
there's only one state that hasn't.
Until just now with federal.
Yeah. What one was that?
South Dakota.
Why am I not surprised?
But look at this, guys. Almost the vast majority of the country had Juneteenth a state holiday before even just now. Some even before 2000, like I said. So some states had for 20 plus years. Yet you're making a big deal now that's a federal holiday? Like, come on, man. There's nothing wrong with this.
States' rights. States' rights.
Except when they disagree with it, remember?
Yep.
Because they're always a bunch of hypocrites. So, God, will you guys just shut the fuck up and just get over it? I'm actually really curious of when this legalized, like, in all those states before 2000. I'm surprised I didn't hear about it sooner. Oh, that's right. If you guys shut the hell up... Oh, I just looked it up, too. Texas was the first state to recognize June 10th in 1980.
Wow. 1980?
So, look, see that, guys? The most the most far-right state in the country had Juneteenth a state holiday for over 40 years. We gotta see about that one. I didn't hear you all complain until just recently. And likewise, I didn't even hear of Juneteenth until just you guys started complaining about it. So you helped, made a big deal about it, actually spread the word about it. I would love to hear the excuses they would make that, oh no, this can't be a holiday. Oh wait, they don't have excuses. Art and crying about rights for minorities as always. You guys claim you don't like being called racist a lot, but you sure do make a lot of just reasons to why people would think you are racist.
They do that with every ist in the book, pretty much.
This is just so funny. So, yay for Juneteenth being a federal holiday. Enjoy, look, I'm drinking up more right-wing tears. And also, just to remind you all, Trump lost, which you still deny around here. Oh, that reminds me. This is actually pretty funny down here. Guess what? I've seen so many new Trump signs recently down here are.
What?
Trump 2024, take America back. The violent way, of course.
Jesus.
They would love to do 1-6 all over again, as always.
Yep.
You fucking idiot. All right.
And then fail even more spectacularly because Biden's actually ready for them.
And now, off to our last topic. So, I guess...
So how did Boris Johnson try to start World War III again?
I guess you didn't hear about this, because I'm sure only you've heard... I've only heard on RT, because I follow their Twitter all the time. Just, like... I'm not kidding, guys. Like, just 3 days ago, Boris Johnson, at the disagreement of pretty much everyone in his cabinet, actually told a British destroyer to, go
this is the one where ships thing in the Black Sea.
Yeah.
Really close to the annexed area in Ukraine.
Yeah, he told a British destroyer to sail in Russian territory, because remember, most of the world doesn't recognize Crimea as Russian, even though it de facto is, so what can you do about it? Against the advice of everyone, he told the ship to go there, and the Russian Navy and Air Force showed up. They actually fired warning shots at the ship, which the British government denied that they did, even though Russia actually showed videos of them actually doing just that. And Russia even said, if the UK does that again, we might bomb the ship next time.
That would start World War III.
Yeah, World War III over going into another country's international territory waters because you want to illustrate a point. So what do you got to say about this one?
He did that with Iran. Iran did that with Saudi Arabia. You name a country, they've done it at some point. Australian warships did it with China. Yeah. What the hell? Like, the last thing we need right now is World War III. Yes, Russia's a bit of a paper tiger. It's a tiger. But you know what? China isn't. And you know what Russia has a shitload of? Nukes.
In fact, the biggest mountain in the world, too, remember?
Yeah. Even more than the US.
And it's not...
Isn't it like if every single nuke was fired all at once that all the countries had, you could just about, like, literally destroy, literally blow up planet Earth?
Yep, even just a war with India and Pakistan would do enough for that. And they only have...
As in, like, not just, like, sterilize the planet. I mean, like, literally break the Earth apart.
No, but they would definitely, like, kill us all, pretty much. And even just nuclear war between Pakistan and India, which only have, like, a few hundred nukes at most, even that's just that regional conflict would cause problems around the world. Yeah, this is
pointed at each other.
Yeah, this is just so ridiculously stupid that the British government would do this. So,
yep.
I would like to hear what the British people have to say about this. I hope they actually, have them get kicked out. But of course, knowing them, they won't. Because all of
the Murdoch press is too powerful in there at the moment. I mean, they literally managed to successfully smear Jeremy Corbyn as a communist Nazi who's also a member of ISIS. So,
yep,
and he has a few weird links to certain groups, but he's not like trying to genocide the white race, or he's not like wanting to blow Israel into the stratosphere.
Yeah, so please don't do something dumb like this again. And eventually, I know you don't want to admit it too, but Crimea is part of Russia, regardless of whether you like to admit it or not, or how wrong Russia was at doing it. They have it. The only way you're going to get it out is through war, and I don't want war over Crimea. Like, you're just going to have to accept the reality that it's part of Russia now, sadly. Just like you might have to accept the reality with Donbass, too. Unless you want to start war.
Unfortunately, one of my Discord friends actually lived in Donbass until war broke out. He's actually internally displaced in the Ukraine, so...
Which sucks.
I find that a bit harder.
Alright, so I think we've talked about enough topics like that, unless you want to talk about something else really quickly.
Fine for now.
Alright, so... Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. See you guys hopefully very soon for some more funny stuff. Please, Crowder, please say something more dumb so we can laugh at you in the next episode too.
Oh, I love that.
Alright, guys. So see you guys next time.
See you guys next time.